2020 was the year everything changed for everyone, including me. The COVID-19 outbreak had just cost me my job, sending me into a deep funk. Sleepless nights became my new normal as anxiety took hold. So, when I saw an ad in the newspaper for an apartment with unbelievably low rent, I didn't hesitate. I didn't even bother to check the place out in person before hastily signing the lease. On my first day in the apartment, I did a quick cleanup and I hung a mirror on the wall across from the front door. I tossed out some leftover cosmetics I found in the drawers from the previous tenant. After bustling around for over an hour, I headed to the kitchen to whip up a simple dinner. Just as the water began to boil, I heard a sigh right next to my ear. At first, I thought it was me sighing, given how overwhelming everything felt at the moment. But then I realized it wasn't my voice. It sounded like a woman's. "Who's there?" I looked around alertly, but saw nothing. Could it be noise from next door? I turned off the stove and started to meticulously check every corner of the apartment. The space under the bed, inside the closet, and even behind the shower curtain. But there was actually no one else there. This made me realize I should have read the contract more carefully and asked why the rent was so low. I turned off all the electronics and listened carefully to the sounds around me. Suddenly, I heard a woman's breathing that was out of sync with my own. I checked my ears, listening again, but the sound disappeared. Could it really be a problem with my ears? That night, I slept restlessly, feeling as if I wasn't alone in the room. It didn't feel like sharing the space with another person, but rather with some presence I couldn't fully comprehend. The next morning, as I was making my bed, I froze. Why was there a red mark on my pillow? I rushed to the mirror to check myself. There was no sign of bleeding. Sniffing the pillowcase, I could detect a hint of perfume. It seemed more like lipstick. Feeling uneasy, I instinctively reviewed my rental agreement and noticed it specifically mentioned unnatural deaths. This deepened my unease, prompting me to pick up the phone and call the rental agency.
Mr. James, we have already disclosed the unusual death incident in the contract, and according to our policy, refunds are not possible.
I'm fully aware that moving out now means losing the 3 months' rent I've already paid. Being unemployed, I can't afford to give up that money just because of some vague unease. I have no choice but to grit my teeth and keep living here. I was just about to unlock my door after coming back from shopping when, coincidentally, my neighbor was also opening hers. "Do you know how the girl who used to live in this apartment died?" I asked my neighbor out of curiosity.
The girl who lived here before, Sarah, was initially happy. Her boyfriend used to visit often, but then she began to follow him around because he wanted more personal space. Turns out he was interested in someone else. She couldn't handle the betrayal and ended up taking her life in this apartment.
After getting back to the apartment, I found myself wondering where Sarah might have ended her life. Could it have been in her bed? That evening, as I watched a drama on TV, the actors yelled passionately, "Don't leave me!" The phrase, "don't leave me," echoed as if from two places. One from the TV, and the other as though it surrounded me.
Don't leave me.
I quickly turned off the television, and then I heard a soft sobbing. The sounds broken up by intermittent sighs.
Why would you leave me? I just want to be with you.
I forced myself to believe that the sound was just from the TV next door. The soundproofing in this apartment is terribly inadequate. The next morning, when I got up, I found lipstick marks and the scent of perfume on the freshly changed pillowcases. Looking at the pillowcases, I thought of the cosmetics I had thrown away. I dug them out of the trash to compare, and sure enough, the lipstick was a very similar color, and the perfume smelled almost the same. Could it be that I've been sharing my sleep with a ghost?
People always like to connect the dots with a bit of imagination. Fear is a bottomless pit, and there are always those who are willing to dig into the ghosts they conjure up in their minds.
That night, I invited my good friend Tyler over to help me figure out if my room was haunted, if it was all in my head, or if I should see a doctor.
Lipstick and perfume?
Tyler laughed as he heard this.
Dude, you must have a new girlfriend you haven't told me about.
Tyler thought some more.
But that doesn't prove anything. After all, a girl used to live in this apartment. Maybe you just picked up that lipstick and perfume by accident while cleaning.
Tyler and I sat quietly waiting for that sound until 11 at night, when Tyler just couldn't sit still any longer.
Dude, you should really get your ears checked at the hospital tomorrow.
I nodded, watching Tyler about to leave, and felt a pang of fear. Are you leaving? Stay tonight. Tyler couldn't help but laugh.
You just looked like a timid girl trying to keep her boyfriend from leaving, ha ha ha.
I heard a woman's cold laugh mixed with Tyler's laughter. Did you hear that? Even though it was quiet, I was sure I heard it. I really wish Tyler could hear it too.
Oh, hear what? What's wrong with you, man? You haven't shaved in days. Looking like this, not only will girls ignore you, but even female ghosts won't bother with you.
I gave him a firm push. Can you be serious for a minute? You're staying here tonight. I just thought of a plan. Tyler raised his hands in surrender.
Roger that, boss. You know what? I just thought of something too. Maybe there's nothing wrong with your ears, but you still need to see a doctor. Your issue is a split personality.
Regardless, I need you to stay tonight for an experiment. Tonight, I had Tyler lie in my bed while I slept on the couch. I wanted to see if his pillow would pick up any traces of lipstick or perfume. We lay there silently as the hours slowly passed, and by 4 a.m, dawn was approaching. Yet the woman's voice didn't resurface. I'm becoming more convinced that the issue is with my own ears.
Trust me, it's not your ears. It's a split personality.
Tyler quipped as he climbed out of bed.
I need to go. I have to get back to the office to handle some things before dawn, or tomorrow's meeting will be a big trouble for me.
I nodded and walked to the bathroom to wash my face, then stood in front of the mirror across the door. The mirror reflected my tired face, and behind me, Tyler was putting on his shoes. I really need to see a doctor, I muttered to myself. Tyler chuckled, but suddenly his laughter stopped abruptly. Through the mirror, I saw Tyler's face turn ashen, his eyes wide with terror, staring in my direction. What's wrong? I turned back to Tyler. Tyler continued to stare at the mirror, his mouth twitching, unable to speak. Are you okay? I approached him. Tyler bolted out the door like a madman. I heard him fall with a thud, indicating a hard fall, but he didn't stop running. The mirror! I realized Tyler must have seen something in the mirror that scared him. I slowly walked back to it, but there was nothing there except for myself. Could there be something mysterious about this mirror? I went back to tidy up the bed and felt relieved seeing Tyler's pillow clean. But when I saw the pillow on the couch, I nearly choked. Another trace of lipstick. A few days later, I received a package and a letter from Tyler, saying that the mirror he bought on eBay from Japan was an antique known as the Demon Revealing Mirror, purportedly capable of revealing the true forms of demons. He described it as a spiritual detector that unveils the supernatural. I carefully opened the package to find an utterly ordinary mirror, even sporting a supermarket price tag marked at $10. I couldn't help but feel played by Tyler. The guy just loves to joke around. Maybe his haunted demeanor that day was just another one of his pranks. I tossed the mirror aside and started taking my medication. Today, I had gone to the hospital to check my ears and discussed my issues with anxiety and insomnia with the doctor, who prescribed me some medicine to help alleviate these conditions. Maybe because I was so down, I didn't think twice and took double the dose. Suddenly, I heard a woman's giggling, and my nerves finally broke. I couldn't endure this unclear torment any longer. Perhaps it was the overdose, but I grew furious and started pacing around the house, yelling, "Come out, Sarah. What do you want from me?"
I want to be with you forever.
The voice was right next to my ear, carrying a chilling coldness and a sinister longing.
You can't get rid of me. We'll be together forever soon.
I'm not your boyfriend. Where are you? I spun around on the spot, ready for a ghostly woman to appear before me. Then, I saw the mirror I had tossed aside, the one Tyler had sent me. I decided to take a chance on it. I picked up the mirror and searched around the apartment. Holding the mirror to the side, I looked askance at the reflections within it. I walked from the bedroom to the kitchen, and then from the kitchen to the bathroom. Everything seemed normal. I decided to go around again. As I moved again, Suddenly, a pair of crimson eyes flashed across the mirror against the dark background. My body froze, and I struggled to regulate my breathing, steadying my trembling frame. I took 2 steps back as those eyes reappeared in the mirror. I quickly turned around, facing the mirror on the wall by the door. My own face stared back at me. I finally understood a terrifying truth. I slowly turned back to the mirror in my hand, which reflected the wall mirror behind me. In that wall mirror, I saw the back of my head. Embedded in my hair were 2 crimson eyes, below which a mouth began to form, smiling a supremely satisfied smile. Then, the lips parted slightly, making a sound.
Honey, this way you'll never be able to get rid of me.
I'm not your boyfriend, Sarah. I'm not your boyfriend.
I know. You can help me find him.
That night, following the details Sarah had provided, I quickly found her boyfriend. As soon as we met, I heard Sarah's scream emanating from behind my head. The scream moved from behind me to behind her boyfriend. His apartment had a mirror too, and as the scream settled, Sarah's face appeared in it. When I got home, I used the mirrors on the wall and in my hand to watch the back of my head for a full 5 minutes before I could finally relax and lie down. I knew that in another house, a chilling love story between a human and a ghost was unfolding. A couple who could only see each other in mirrors had finally reunited.